The city lights always seemed brighter at night, glowing through the thin curtains of Aisha's room. She sat on the edge of her bed, her phone resting loosely in her hands, her eyes staring at the dim reflection of her own face in the darkened screen. 17 years old, restless and full of questions about the future. She should have been worrying about her college applications, or the essay she still hadn't finished. But none of that mattered anymore, because tomorrow, her parents had planned to finalize her engagement. The thought made her stomach twist. It wasn't to someone she admired or cared for, not to the boy whose voice had been her constant comfort late at night, when the world felt too heavy. No, it was to a man, a 33-year-old man named Imran, whose life was already well past hers in every way that counted. He had a stable job, a car, a house, and according to her parents, he was responsible and a good match. But every time she heard his name, her heart recoiled. The sound that soothed her heart was different. It was the laughter of Arjun, the boy who had been her friend since they were children, the boy whose eyes lit up when she talked about her dreams, the boy who was 17 just like her and who, for the last year, had become something more than just a friend. She unlocked her phone with trembling fingers. His name sat at the top of her messages. "Are you okay?" He had texted an hour ago. "I can't sleep either. Do you want me to come by?" Her lips curved in the faintest smile. He always seemed to know what to say, even when she couldn't explain how heavy her chest felt. She typed back quickly, "I don't know what to do, Arjun. They are not listening. It's happening tomorrow." The reply came almost instantly. "Then we'll stop it. I promise. You're not alone in this." Her throat tightened. She wanted to believe him, but when it came to her parents, things never seemed that simple. Her mother had walked into her room earlier that evening, carrying a small velvet box with bangles inside. "These are for tomorrow," she had said with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "You'll look beautiful. Everyone will see what a lucky girl you are to have such a good proposal." Aisha hadn't argued anymore. She had tried so many times before. Every time, her father would grow stern, his voice hard. "We know what's best for you. At your age, you think you understand the world, but you don't. Marriage isn't about love. It's about security. Imran can give you that. What can a boy your age give? Dreams? Empty promises." She had bitten back the words. She wanted to scream. That Arjun wasn't just dreams and empty promises. That he was the reason she wanted to wake up in the morning. That he was the one who knew her favorite songs, her fears, the way she doodled in the margins of her notebooks when she was nervous. Her phone buzzed again. "Meet me tomorrow before school. Just for a little while. We'll figure this out." She pressed the phone to her chest and closed her eyes. For the first time that night, her breathing slowed. Maybe there was still a way out. The next morning, the sky was washed in pale blue as she slipped out of the house, her backpack hanging from one shoulder. She wasn't supposed to go to school today. Her parents had told her to stay home, to prepare for the engagement ceremony in the evening. But she had lied, saying she needed to pick up some notes from a friend. Arjun was waiting by the gate of the park near her school, his hair messy from the morning breeze, his face breaking into a grin when he saw her. "You came," he said, relief flooding his voice. "I had to," she whispered, trying not to cry. "I don't know what else to do, Arjun." He reached for her hand, gently but firmly, as though he knew she might slip away if he wasn't careful. "Then listen to me. We don't let them decide for you. We can leave. We can go to my parents. I already talked to them. They said if it comes to it, they'll help us." Her eyes widened. "You told them?" "I had to. I couldn't just sit there while you were being forced into this. My mom cried when I explained. My dad, he wasn't happy at first, but then he said something that gave me hope. He said, if you're ready to take responsibility for her, then we'll stand with you." Her heart pounded. She hadn't expected that. Parents who would actually listen. Parents who wouldn't just dismiss them because of their age. "But what if mine never forgive me?" she asked, her voice breaking. "What if I lose them forever?" Arjun squeezed her hand. "Sometimes you have to risk losing something to keep what really matters. I don't want to take you away from them. I want them to see us together and realize this is real. But if they won't, then we'll build a life anyway. Together." Tears welled in her eyes, and before she could stop herself, she leaned into him, wrapping her arms around his shoulders. He held her tightly, the world fading away around them. For a moment, she could almost believe they could make it. But reality came crashing back that evening. The living room was filled with relatives, neighbors, laughter that sounded hollow in her ears. Imran sat on the sofa, dressed in a crisp suit, a polite smile on his face as he chatted with her father. He didn't look at her much, and when he did, It was with the detached politeness of a man inspecting something that had already been decided. Her mother guided her into the room, the bangles jingling on her wrists. "Sit down, Beta," she murmured, as though her daughter were a guest in her own home. Aisha sat, her eyes darting toward the door, her chest tightening with every passing second. Where was Arjun? Had something gone wrong? Imran leaned closer, his voice calm. "I know this isn't easy for you, but in time, you'll see this is the right decision." Her throat went dry. She wanted to scream, to run, to tell everyone in that room that she wasn't some object to be handed over. But her parents' proud smiles and the approving murmurs of relatives weighed on her like chains. And then, through the window, she saw him, Arjun, standing across the street, his face pale but determined, his eyes locked on hers. He nodded once, a silent question. "Are you ready?" Her heart leapt. For the first time all evening, she felt alive. She stood up abruptly, the bangles clinking against each other, the chatter in the room pausing in confusion. "Aisha," her father said, his voice sharp. "Where are you going?" She looked at him, her voice shaking but strong. "Not here. Not with him." Gasps filled the room. Her mother's face turned white. Imran's polite smile disappeared. But before anyone could stop her, she turned and ran, through the hall, out the door, her sandals slipping on the pavement as she rushed toward the only person who had ever made her feel free. Arjun grabbed her hand, and together they ran, the shouts of her father echoing behind them. The world blurred, but she didn't care. She had chosen, and for the first time, the choice was hers. They didn't stop until they reached Arjun's house. His parents were waiting at the door, worry etched on their faces, but when they saw Aisha, their expressions softened. "Come inside, child," his mother said, pulling her gently into the warmth of their home. "You're safe here." Aisha's chest heaved, her eyes burning with tears she had held back for too long. She sank into the sofa, her hands trembling. Arjun's father stood quietly for a long moment before speaking. "This won't be easy," he said. "Your parents will be angry. There will be questions. But if you both are sure, truly sure, then we'll stand by you. Because love is worth fighting for." A sob escaped Aisha's throat, and she buried her face in her hands. For the first time, she felt like maybe, just maybe, she wasn't powerless. The silence in Arjun's house that night was heavy, broken only by the sound of Aisha's shaky breathing as she tried to calm herself. She sat curled up on the edge of the sofa, her hands clasped tightly together, as if letting go would mean losing everything she had just fought for. Arjun sat beside her, his hand hovering near hers, unsure if he should reach for her again. His parents moved quietly in the kitchen, whispering in low voices that she couldn't quite hear. Finally, Arjun's mother came out carrying 2 cups of warm tea. She placed them on the table in front of them, and sat down opposite Aisha. Her eyes were soft, but there was a firmness in them too. "Child," she said gently, "do you understand what you've done tonight? Walking out of that house. It isn't a small thing. Your parents will come looking for you. They'll be angry, hurt, and afraid. Are you prepared for what happens next?" Aisha swallowed hard, her throat aching. "I couldn't stay," she whispered. "They don't listen to me. They don't care how I feel. They just decided everything for me like I don't even exist. I couldn't marry him." Arjun's mother reached forward, covering Aisha's trembling hands with her own. "I believe you, and I believe in love. But you're still so young, both of you. The world will not make this easy. People will talk. Families will disapprove. You need to be sure that you are ready for this fight." Aisha glanced at Arjun, her eyes searching his. He didn't hesitate. He took her hand in his, firm this time, his voice steady. "I've never been more sure of anything. I'll stand by her, no matter what." His mother looked at him for a long moment before sighing softly. "Then you'll need strength, both of you." That night, Aisha slept in Arjun's sister's room, though sleep barely touched her. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, her mind replaying the scene at her house, the shocked faces, her father's voice calling after her, her mother's horrified silence. For the first time, she wondered if she had broken something that could never be fixed. But then she thought of Imran's indifferent eyes, of the life that had been mapped out for her without her consent, and she pressed the pillow against her chest. No, she had chosen her freedom. She had chosen love. The next morning came with chaos. Her phone, which she had silenced the night before, was lit up with dozens of missed calls and messages from her father. "Come home right now. You've disgraced us." From her mother, "Please, Aisha, don't do this. We can talk. Just come back." From relatives she barely spoke to. "What are you thinking? You're ruining everything." Her hands shook as she read them, but she didn't reply. Arjun's father noticed her pale face, as she sat at the breakfast table, untouched food on her plate. "It started, hasn't it?" he asked quietly. She nodded. "They won't forgive me." "Not yet," he said firmly. "But sometimes forgiveness takes time. Right now, you both need to think carefully. What is it you want to do? Run away completely? Or face this together here, where at least you're not hiding?" Arjun looked at her, his jaw set. "I don't want to hide. I don't want our love to look like something shameful. We'll face them, Aisha, but only if you're ready." She took a deep breath. Her chest was heavy, but somewhere inside, there was a flicker of determination. "I'm ready." The confrontation came sooner than expected. That very evening, her parents arrived at Arjun's house. The doorbell rang like a thunderclap. Aisha froze, her heart hammering in her chest. Arjun took her hand and squeezed it before his father went to open the door. Her father stormed in first, his face red with anger, followed closely by her mother, whose eyes were swollen from crying. "Aisha," her father's voice was sharp, commanding. "What is this madness? Do you have any idea what shame you've brought to our family?" She stood, her knees trembling, but Arjun remained at her side. "I didn't mean to shame you," she said softly, though her voice wavered. I can't marry him, Papa. I don't love him. I love Arjun." Her father's eyes flashed. Love will not feed you. Love will not build you a future. You are a child, Aisha. You don't understand the world. That boy," he pointed angrily at Arjun. "He has nothing. No job, no stability. What will you eat? What kind of life will you have?" Arjun's father stepped forward calmly, his voice steady. "With respect, sir, they may be young, but they are not children. They have chosen each other, and in time, they will build that stability. We will guide them. But forcing her into a marriage she doesn't want, what kind of life would that be?" A tense silence followed. Aisha's mother finally spoke, her voice trembling. "Beta, please, come home. Don't ruin your life like this. That man we chose for you, he can take care of you. He can give you everything." Aisha shook her head, tears brimming in her eyes. "But he can't give me happiness. He doesn't even see me, Mama. I'd rather struggle with Arjun than live a comfortable life without love." Her father's face hardened, his pride wounded. "If you leave with him, then don't think of us as your parents anymore." The words sliced through her like a knife. She gasped, her chest tightening. For a moment, she wavered, her heart breaking at the thought of losing them forever. But then Arjun's hand tightened around hers. His voice was calm but unyielding. "We're not asking for your blessing right now. We're asking for your patience. Let us prove that we can make this work. One day, you'll see that she's happy, and maybe then you'll forgive us." Her father didn't reply. He turned sharply and left, her mother following with tears streaming down her face. The door closed, leaving behind a silence so heavy it pressed down on Aisha's chest. She sank into the sofa, sobs racking her body. Arjun wrapped his arms around her, holding her as though he could shield her from the pain. The weeks that followed were not easy. Whispers spread quickly. At school, her classmates looked at her differently, some with pity, some with judgment. Teachers whispered about how she had ruined her reputation. Relatives called constantly, leaving voicemails filled with scolding or fake concern. Her parents didn't speak to her at all. The silence from them hurt more than the words ever could. Arjun, too, felt the weight. His friends teased him, some cruelly, saying he had trapped Aisha, that he was reckless. He ignored them, but Aisha saw the tension in his jaw whenever he pretended it didn't bother him. And yet, through all of it, they found strength in each other. They studied together, sitting side by side with textbooks open, sometimes getting more distracted by each other's smiles than the pages in front of them. They cooked meals with his mother, laughing at their mistakes. They went on long walks at night, talking about the future they wanted to build, college, careers, a small apartment of their own. It wasn't perfect, but it was real, and it was theirs. One evening, as they sat on the roof of Arjun's house, Aisha leaned her head on his shoulder. "Do you ever get scared?" she asked quietly. "Of what?" "That we won't make it. That everything will be too much." He was silent for a moment before replying. "All the time. But then I remember how I felt that night, seeing you in that room with him, and I know I couldn't live with myself if I hadn't fought for you. If we fall together. That's enough for me." Her eyes stung with tears, but she smiled. Together. Months passed. Slowly, the storm began to calm. Her parents still refused to see her, but through distant relatives, she heard that her mother asked about her quietly, that her father sometimes stayed awake late at night, restless. It gave her hope. Then, one afternoon, as she and Arjun were studying in the library, her phone buzzed with an unfamiliar number. She almost ignored it, but something told her to answer. "Hello." There was a pause, then a shaky voice. Beta, it's me. Her breath caught. Mama? Yes, her mother whispered, her voice breaking. I needed to hear your voice. Are you happy? Tears streamed down Aisha's face. I am, Mama. It's hard sometimes, but I'm happy. I love him. Her mother sobbed softly on the other end. I don't understand everything. Your father, he's still angry, but I can't stop loving you, Aisha. You're my daughter. Aisha's chest ached with relief and longing. I miss you, Mama. I want you to see us one day, to see that I'm okay. Her mother sniffled. Maybe one day. For now, take care of yourself, Beta. That's all I ask. The line went silent, but Aisha sat frozen, her heart pounding. For the first time in months, she felt a glimmer of hope.